So here's hopefully this will just be a short little project. I've got a friend who tags sharks for Noah, and he's got these Cobalt bolt cutters that he uses. Sometimes he has to use them when he can't get the hook out of the shark's mouth, and it just keeps the metal just not a good cutter, so he has to keep swapping it out. So I saw these on that Facebook marketplace thing, 2 for $10, so I was like, yeah, I'll try to fix these up for him. This one's probably a Harbor Freight. You see there it says made in China. I did do a little adjusting on this bolt here. I think I have to do a little bit more adjusting here to try to get these to close a little bit more. This one is a brand Fuller, and it says made in Japan. This one though does have at the top, I don't know if it was an arc and it melted it away or what, but I think I might be able to adjust this to try to get these jaws to clamp down a little bit more. Oh, yeah, where am I pointing? Yeah, adjust this to get the jaws to clamp down a little bit more. So let me just see if I can adjust these a little bit first, and then get them cleaned up. So I've never used really these before, so it took me just a little time. So I guess this is probably like a set screw. So as you can see now, you don't see any space in between the jaws. So I think that's how it's supposed to be set. So now that I know I can, that's what this adjustment was, I'm going to take the head off and just put in a little Evap-O-Rust and let that work on it for a bit. Before I paint it, I was looking at this, I don't know what this is called, but this piece right here doesn't look like it's mushroomed out enough. It's got too much play in it, so I'm going to see if I can't mushroom that head out just a little bit more. I don't know what it's going to do when I'm banging from this side. I might flatten this, but I want to get this one just a little bit more secure. Can't remember if I said this in another video, but never realized how much you needed an anvil until you have one. Yeah, it's a little bit better there. Alright, well, I'm waiting for the paint to dry. Let me see if I can adjust these jaws just to close a little bit tighter. Okay, so I need to bring it in more. Yep, that brings in just a little bit more. Got a little gap here at the back. Hopefully this thing won't mess him up too much when he uses it. But so now I know I can adjust it. Let's strip this one down as well. I think I'll run into a little problem if I put this into the Vaporust. Right here, it's like chrome plated and it's wanting to flake off. So I just have to be real careful with that. Don't have it in the Vaporust too long, I guess. So I put the 3-in-1 oil on these bolts, but it's still not budging, so I just hit it with some of this PB Blaster, and let's see if I can't take these bolts out of here. Not yet. We'll have to let it sit a little bit more. Well, I've done everything I can think of except for two things. One would possibly be putting it in the vise and trying to push it out, but I don't want to damage these ends for fear of not being able to get the nuts screwed back on. So I'm going to soak it in the Vaporust. Hopefully that'll get down in the rust or whatever is holding it in place. I didn't want to do this whole head in Vaporust because the chrome on this top part here is flaking off. I'm afraid if I soak it in the Vaporust, it's all just going to flake off, but if I want to get these things out, that's the only thing I can do. So, alright. Well, we'll soak it in here for, I don't know, maybe 12 hours and see if that helps me out some. Yay, finally some success. So I've been racking my brain how to do this. So what I did, I put the nut really close to the head, just laid it on the vise and just hit it 2 times with the ball peen hammer, and it actually came out. So it's like, why is it focusing? It's like it's got like notches in the bolt, or serrations to, I guess, to keep that in place. So let me work on getting this head off of here, and then when I had it came out of the Vaporust, I must have dipped this thing in concrete. There's like concrete embedded into the top part of this, so hopefully I can get that scraped out. But let's finish getting this thing cleaned up. Off camera, before I was hitting it with the hammer, I did use a big set of channel lock pliers, seeing maybe if I could just twist it out. I kind of scraped it up a little bit. I got that concrete out of it. I'm going to let it soak some more in the Evapo-Rust. Still concerned about this little flake right here because I don't want this chroming coming off, but I don't have any way of re-chroming it. So, alright. So I'm waiting for that paint to dry, and it's going to take probably a couple weekends because it's like 2 to 4 hours just to touch dry before I could flip it over and put some coats on the other side. So we'll assemble the Chinese Harbor Freight one back together. It did not have handles or rubber coatings with it. They might have slipped off. I don't know where to source them at, so I got some tennis racket tape. It is made in America, so at least it'll have some American part on it, but I'll wrap these up just to make it a little bit easier on the hands when you're using it. Well, one down. Just one more to go. It'll take me probably a couple weekends, maybe one more weekend. Well, maybe a couple weekends to get the other one finished because I have to let it dry in between coats because that red paint takes a while to dry. I've never wrapped this type of tape before, so hopefully it'll stay on. I followed the directions. So let's see if it works. I'd say it works. It wasn't a bolt, but it was a screw. Cool.